Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem HaRachakodash. Say double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully leg. Sorry, the little thumbnail there is pretty. A picture speaks 1,000 words. And I think it's pretty accurate, pretty funny. A little comedy. The brother elder biblical defenders did a lesson regarding the deacon from formerly Sakari, but now Genesis. And he played a little snippet from his video that he did, and he went into a beautiful lesson. And this is the stuff really we've been saying. And if you have eyes to see, then you should be able to see. But basically, Deacon said that when he's done with when he get off the YouTube, he has basically a good life to tend to, wife, cars, right? Basically he's doing good. So, we've been saying that the motivation is money. The motivation is always money. It's always money. And that's why the scriptures say you have to be careful who you listening to. See, but Jake just take it as offense. Jake just take it as that we're hating or whatever it is. I mean, by all means, if you want to follow certain people for whatever your reason, then by all means go right ahead. But what we're going to tell you is that according to the true prophet's going to tell you that there's prophecy underway. We're living in the midst of it, and more is to come. And you have to be careful who you're listening to, because the ones you're listening to, okay, when the time comes, according to prophecy, they're going to be gone. If they are considered a hireling, or if they're considered a false prophet, you won't see them anymore. Okay. When they make it evident that their motivation is money, what happens when the money stops coming? What happens when calamity hits? What happens when the views stop? Then what is the motivation there? That's the question you should be asking. I mean, and if they're telling you what they would do, I mean, what more evidence do you need? I mean, one of them said that, he was asked by, I guess, a former gang member, somebody from the world, and he asked him, if you was to get locked up, and, you had the Muslims here, the Christians here, you had the Israelites here, and you had the gangbangers here, who you going with? I mean, he said he's going to the gangbangers. And I mean, that's evidence to me, so the man's an actor, but you all would do whatever you wish. This is okay. But just know when this time comes, okay, you're not going to find them. They're going to be gone, because the motivation is no more. When the dollar collapses, when the RFID microchip is brought to the people, when views no longer matter, when the things of this life, the cares of this life no longer matter, or the car you have no longer matters because of gas, maybe you can't get gas. When the world basically stops, the world as we know it, when the idea of visiting and vacationing, all of those thoughts are gone, and the only thoughts in your mind is survival. Okay. When it turns to survival mode and the mirth is gone, if they don't have the motivation to, if possible, if we still have the ability to keep teaching, prophesying, if the Lord didn't get us off the street yet, their motivation is now gone. And if you're looking to them for guidance, they got nothing for you, because they have no more motivation. See? And the only thing I want to highlight is that pretty soon all of us are going to be, or everybody's going to be poor. And when I say that, I mean everybody's going to be on the same status eventually. Okay. We're all, with the evils that's coming, everyone is about to be on the same level. And in the end, all that's going to matter is the faith. And if you understand that, then you understand that faith indeed is the true riches. Because in this society, you have different statuses of people, right? What happens when the playing field is leveled and everybody in the room is basically status-wise considered poor or the same? Who then is with and who then is without? Well, those who banked everything on their substance, on their money, they are now without because all of that work they did has now been reduced to nothing. But you who believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're rich because you have the faith. You're the richest man in the room or woman because you got sincere akwath, that belief. You're the richest one in the room now. So now do you understand why the scripture says that this really is the true riches? Because can't nobody take this from you. And it's going to always be valuable because it's basically you're the key to your salvation. Matthew 24. Now this is dealing with 70 AD verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, which is what talking about Esau, spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in a holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. So he's talking about the besiege of Jerusalem, which was in 70 AD, led by Vespasian to besiege the Israelites in Jerusalem. And they set up a trench about them, and they didn't let anybody go out. Some notes say they let people go in, but didn't let you go out. So going in was a death sentence, and you couldn't come out neither because they basically starved you to death. It says, verse 17, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field turn back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. So in that instant, when evil times came, your status did not matter anymore. Your wealth did not matter anymore. Everything you labored for, sowing, you looking at you might just be ready to reap the first fruits. And you waited a good long time to reap the first fruits. You might be on the plantation. You might have been visiting your family in this little city or this walkway, and maybe your home is back there in Judea. Maybe you happen to be outside of Judea during the time of the besiege, and then you hear about the Roman siege. At that instant, you let it all go, and you run. I remember the last time I was actually out of town when I was taking a flight. I was in Puerto Rico. It was some years ago. But just doing that, you stop to think. I stopped to think. I said, what if something happened right now while I'll remain stuck? Putting yourself in those thoughts process keeps you on your toes because it could happen. So in that day, when Jerusalem was ransacked, nothing mattered. Your money didn't matter. Your status didn't matter. None of those things matter. Okay. Now, for those who did look back and say, look, I got to go back. I just got to go back home and I got to grab a few things. The Lord said, don't do that. Why? Because if you went in, you didn't come out. The only way out was death. If you managed to sneak in, you probably most likely did not leave alive. You were stuck. So going back to try to retrieve some items or try to preserve whatever it is that you felt worthy to save got you killed. At that instant, you had to drop it all and just let it all go. Now, that was 70 AD. The Lord said that there's a time like no other coming. It's because of the same attitude. So what's your true investment? You see? It goes on to say, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And those days are considered, well, the winter we know is harsh times naturally. Okay. The weather's not nice. So, and cold by nature brings troublesome times. Right. And on the Sabbath day, that's when you would be considered caught off guard. That's when you read in the Maccabees, they would use the Sabbath day, the day of our rest, where we have our arms down, to come and ransack us. So that day, especially when we kept it right as we could, we were relaxed. You can say we were rested. We had no thought or care to arm yourself, prepare the camel, prepare the ass to lodge all your stuff. No, you undid all that, and if it just came on you surprisingly, you burdened, because it's going to take a while to load up all your goodies and stuff like that. Verse 20, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be." And that's talking about now. That's talking about now. So you got to have the same attitude. And that's why the scripture says to be as pilgrims upon the earth. So, and he's in the scriptures telling you that you go about your business in meekness, as the scripture says. But when you see these times come, you better be ready to drop it all. You better be ready to drop it all. Because if you have those attachments, like look, look, we got to go. Rome, Judah, Rome, they besieging us. We got to go right now. But wait a minute now. My field, my harvest. I was just about to reap the first fruits. I can't leave. I done tilled the ground. I waited a long time to reap these fruits, and I just can't leave. And the dude like, bro, the hell with that. Let all that go. We got to go now. And a lot of them stayed. Why? To be destroyed. Why? Because they wanted to hold on to that which they felt so attached to. So the scriptures is telling you, since you don't know when the time's coming, I'm just giving you the signs. And when the time comes, you best go. So for all those, let me see. So for all those that are too concerned about their riches, right? What does Proverbs 23:5 say? It says, "Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven." Let's read verse 4. It says, "Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven." So those aren't forever. Those are temporary. All your substance, your cars, your money, all temporary. Prophecy says that eventually all of us are going to be the same status. So basically, we're all going to be poor in the status sense, as Revelation 3. Revelation 13 and 16 says, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." So it don't matter your status. And I did a lesson, I forgot what it was titled, not that long ago, but it was something regarding the image of the beast. But right now, there's an Amish community in Canada that's being fined about at least $500,000 because they refuse to download this. Ever since COVID, Canada, the president is forcing everybody in there to download this app that you have to use when you're leaving the country and coming back. No matter what, you have to use that. But the Amish, they don't use technology. So they're actually being fined up to $500,000 because they refuse to use those apps. And they're even putting liens on their homes so that they can't pass it down from generation. They're literally penalizing them, right? Because they're trying to force all of them to get cell phones, download these apps so that they can be tracked. And they're fining the hell out of them. And they're putting liens on their houses, so they're trying to stop the generational pass down. Now, these are people who live in their own area, right? But guess what the system is saying? The image is saying all is going to bow to this. So nobody's free. So when they bring this microchip, especially if you're an Israelite, it don't matter what your status is. We all going to be on the same status. The difference is those who have this truth are going to be the rich ones. So take away the money, take away the fame. That's the question you would ask. And let's post that. Let's post that scripture on there. It's a good precept to post on there. And that's why the scripture says that riches is a snare unto those people, unto those who sacrifice into it, because they're easily deceived and they value their their abundance that they have as success, or as means of saying like, I'm good, right? Take it all away. What do they have? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Take the things you have precious to you, take it all away. What do you have? Your answer should be, should I got faith. I know I can keep moving on through the faith in Yahweh Yahushua. Then that means you're good. And if you lack in that area, then the Lord said you pray for more faith. So the leaders you're listening to, if they're telling you what their motivation is, according to prophecy, it's going to mean nothing real soon. What do you think they're going to do? Now, that's the question for you to ask, for those of you who actually still follow, these entertainers. All right. Because we know what's going to happen when all hell breaks loose. We know what's going to happen to the celebrity Israelites. They ain't got no more motivation. No more cameras, no more debates, no more sitting downs, no more talk shows, no more unity camps, all that, no more getting money. So we already know what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to find them. So you better make sure that you are rich in faith, because real soon all of us are going to be poor. And I mean that by saying we're all going to be the same status real soon. Doesn't matter how much you have in your bank account. When they bring that digital currency and they lock it behind a paywall, and the only way to access it is to take that chip, is it going to matter then? So that's why you don't set your heart on riches. You believe in this. You believe in Yahweh Yahushua. That's the true riches, man. So that you may be rich in the time where everyone will be the same status, which you could say which is poor, but we will be rich as well. Shalom.